Hey guys, welcome back. Now, Bitcoin and crypto have been making headlines everywhere as record after record keep getting smashed. We just had the largest monthly gain in Bitcoin's history as Bitcoin gained over $20,000 in just 2 weeks. And this also coincided with another record just broken, which was 6 green months in a row. Again, something never done before in Bitcoin's history. And so clearly a very exciting time in crypto right now. And as always, we've got some great things to cover, including firstly, bull market tracker. Let's see how this cycle is comparing against the previous ones. Then the one chart that I keep coming back to again and again and thinking, can it really be this simple? How to get maximum profit in the crypto market from just one chart. Then we'll cover the biggest developments from all around the world in just the past couple of weeks. And then we'll finish up with why this bull market probably hasn't even started yet and will likely be the biggest one yet. Okay, so first up, let's take a look at where we are in the cycle and how this one compares to the previous ones. So, beginning with the bull market tracker and comparing against the previous cycles, of which there's been 3 previous ones, first one being blue, this is the second, and this is the third. This chart is all based around the halving, which goes through the middle, and this is time building up to the halving, and this is time after the halving. And you can see just what a massive impact the halving has. In fact, many say that the bull market and crypto summer doesn't really begin until after the halving. So we could be in just the build-up stage. Now, interestingly, they all pretty much bottomed at the exact same time when measured from the halving. So this is very, very interesting. And it means if history repeats, we pretty much know when the bottom is going to be. Crypto spring is very volatile, as you can see, and it doesn't follow the exact same picture. Apart from you get big runs and big crashes, there's a lot of uncertainty and people are always calling that it's going to be going lower, but so far it never has. Now, one of the big things to point out is that the red, this is where we are right now, and we are well ahead of all 3 cycles at this point, which is crazy, as some of these went on to do a 300x and 100x, and the fact that we're blasting above these says that we are well ahead of target. And in fact, there's another record that might be broken. And what is that? Well, it has to do with the halving. Bitcoin has never set an all-time high before the halving takes place. It's always happened after the halving. So if Bitcoin, and it's less than 10% away, can hit a new all-time high in the next 6 weeks or so, then this is another big first for the crypto market. So that's something that many people will be keeping their eye on. And lastly, I'll just say I'm not a fan of these big vertical moves, as whenever you get a big vertical move, normally a really harsh correction follows. You'll notice in the vertical moves, massive corrections follow. So I'm much more of a fan of gradual growth. So although it's amazing to see these big runs, normally they're followed by big crashes. And I think it's quite likely that similar to this orange line, we may get a massive run up to the halving and probably another big correction at the time or after. It's looking very, very likely. Now, as I was first putting together the information for this video, this is where Bitcoin was. This was when the ETFs launched. This was the 20% pullback, and it had a great run and was consolidating. However, in the last 3 days, this happened. An absolute record breakout, a huge 3-bar surge, and now we're sitting above 60,000. This is the halving that's coming up, and I keep having to raise the bar. And now halving price is looking like it's got a good chance to be above 60,000. So as you can see, this has been, since September, one hell of a move for Bitcoin. And the great thing is that it's now in the headlines everywhere, getting loads of coverage. Bitcoin normally leads the charge, then it'll be a massive run by Ethereum, and then we'll see altcoins pump. So even though I personally don't hold Bitcoin, this is excellent to see and great for the crypto market. Now, this is the chart, or more accurately, it's more of a table that I just keep coming back to again and again and again, and asking myself, can it really be this simple? So this is just the annual performance of the crypto market, and we can put in the halving years, 2016, 2020, and now 2024, and there's a very distinct pattern. A great year followed by a huge correction year, followed by a good year and a great year. A great year, a huge correction, good year, great year. A great year, huge correction, a great year, and this is predicting another great year. Now, you could do this on Bitcoin. It's the exact same pattern. Yes, the numbers are a little bit different. So for me, it doesn't really matter whether you do it on Bitcoin or you do it on the entire crypto market. There is a very distinct and very simple pattern. Be in the market for 3 years, get out of the market. Be in the market for 3 years, get out of the market. This would be year 1, year 2, and it would say at the end of 2025 to be out of the market. And this could be just the simple plan that anyone could follow. It means that when it's going bananas and everyone's saying it's going higher, you do actually just want to follow this and get out of the market. And in the most brutal crashes, when everything's going down and people are saying it's going to be going down even further, be brave and in January get back in the market. Now, there are some nuances here because this is just January to January. So I have shown by which month and time period historically it's been best to get in and get out, and I will cover that in a future video, so be sure to be subscribed for that. But what's great about this is its simplicity, and it's all saying that 2024 is going to be a very good year. Now, on to the biggest developments of the past couple of weeks, and how about we start with Coinbase crashing again? And this is another sign that the bull market is back when Coinbase goes down. So basically, Brian Armstrong, CEO, had tweeted that they're dealing with a very large surge in traffic, which had crashed the website. Now, prior to that, they had modeled a 10 times increase in traffic and made sure the website could handle it. So this just means in the past week, more than 10 times the usual amount of traffic came to Coinbase and crashed the website. Obviously, very bullish news for the crypto market. Now, this is something very interesting going on with the Bitcoin ETFs. As we know, in the past couple of weeks, there's just been net buying and it's been going higher and higher and higher. But what's interesting, this is a chart of the store of value versus the digital store of value. As Bitcoin's been going up, money has been getting sucked out of the gold market. So this is a very interesting battle going on between 5,000-year-old store of value and the new digital version. And let's just look at how they've both performed so far this year. So year to date, this is Bitcoin, and it's now up in just 2 months 40%, which is clearly excellent. And then when we look at gold, so far this year, gold is actually down. So this is a very interesting trend. Now, next up, someone had shared this on Twitter, and I thought it's definitely worth sharing. Now, when it comes to doing your tax return, this is what you fill in the US. Now, I'm not actually based in the US, so I can't verify this. However, you cannot tell me that the US government is not keeping a vigilant eye on the crypto market, as when people are filling in their tax return, do you notice something very interesting? Right at the top, there is a huge section for digital assets. So clearly the US government is paying a lot of attention to crypto. Next, we fly on over to Africa and we see that Ethiopia has become the first African country to start Bitcoin mining. So this is great to see from the developing nations. Then we fly on over to Thailand, and they have removed some crypto trading tax, and they are also trying to be a digital asset hub. And I've seen over the weeks that more and more countries are fighting to be a digital asset hub, Thailand being the latest. Then flying over to Europe, and in Switzerland, we have Post Finance, the Swiss Post Office's bank, have started offering crypto as well. Now, Switzerland has always been pretty pro-crypto and forward-thinking, so this is just more developments coming from Switzerland. And finally, in the US, something very interesting has happened. Big banks have been writing letters to the SEC to try and get involved in the Bitcoin ETF action. And they've been requesting that they too can also offer crypto custody. So this is hilarious. The Banking Association pestering the SEC to let them get involved, which is great. As I keep saying, this is the year of FOMO, and the big banks are feeling it. We also had Carlson Group, which is a $30 billion advisory firm, adding 4 Bitcoin ETFs to their offerings, which their financial advisors will now be shilling. Great to see. And then hot off the press, in the last day, we've now got Bank of America and Wells Fargo to begin offering the Bitcoin ETFs on their broker platforms as well. So serious FOMO coming from the Bitcoin ETFs. And to be fair, they are the biggest, most successful ones in history. So why the hell not? And then just in for this special leap year video, we've just heard that the CEO of Vanguard is going to be stepping down. And it really makes you think, is this because of the controversial move by Vanguard not allowing their customers to get involved in arguably the biggest trend in financial services of the last 100 years? And then the follow-up question, will his replacement? And finally, we're just going to cover another really interesting chart, which kind of shows that this bull market has not really even started yet, and why it's probably going to be the biggest one yet. So what are we looking at? This is Google Trends. So every time someone writes something into Google and does a search, you can actually see that data. And this is the search term Bitcoin. So we can see how many people are searching for Bitcoin in Google at any one time. Now, what it clearly shows is the market tops in 2021. This was the peak of the last market, and this is where it hit the 100% mark. Maximum number of searches when the market is at its high. Well, what's really interesting is looking at where we're at right now. People searching for Bitcoin is pretty much close to an all-time low. In fact, it's sitting still just below this 25% mark. And this is after this crazy 2 weeks and Bitcoin almost back to its all-time high, suggesting that retail still hasn't really got involved. And when this thing really kicks off, we have got so much more room to go. Now, you can look at this in another way. This is Coinbase's trading volumes, and it pretty much is a different way of showing the same thing. So Q4 2021 was the big blow off top when they're doing 177 billion, and this is where we're at right now, what they've just done. It's a fraction of where it was at the cycle top, yet still we've just had Coinbase shares surging after it crushes Wall Street expectations. And the crypto exchange, their transaction revenue had doubled from the previous quarter. But as you saw, there's still so much room to go. So a nice chart to finish on, again showing why this bull market has not really even started yet and why it's probably going to be the biggest one yet. Bitcoin and crypto are grabbing all the headlines right now as it's just crushed 2 new records, the biggest monthly gain and 6 consecutive green months. Looking at the previous cycles, we are clearly well ahead of target and in fact on track for another record, which would be a new all-time high before the halving, something never done before. Can it really be this simple? Be in the market for 3 years and then out of the market for 1? This is what history continues to show us, and in fact will be what I'm doing myself this time around. The developments keep coming in from all around the world, from Bitcoin mines in Africa to more countries wanting to be a digital asset hub, to the US banks begging the SEC to let them get involved in crypto asset custody. And probably the best part in this video was the fact that retail attention is still very, very low, even after this crazy 2 weeks, strongly suggesting that this next bull market has not even yet started and will likely be the biggest one yet. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, if you got any questions or comments or anything that you must get answered, simply use the comment section below. However, just remember, to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments, we are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.